provide a quick review of the Razer Leviathan V2 X. So this particular unit does not have a subwoofer, and you can expand this video's description and then click the link there to find where to order it online. But I was looking for a Bluetooth speaker for this is the Samsung M8 monitor, something that would fit below it, but would pair using Bluetooth with my Mac computer, in my case, the Apple Silicon MacBook Air. But Bluetooth was important because if you looked at speaker options for Mac, such as the HomePod or the HomePod Mini, you may not be aware, but there's a significant audio delay within applications like Final Cut Pro 10, etc. Now, maybe they can address that within a future firmware update, but for video editing, it pretty much makes the HomePod Mini a no-go. Otherwise, it's probably the route I would have took. So this speaker, and I'm going to tell you, you can see the lights. It's got a light pattern there that's a bunch of different colors. The Razer, the app that one would need on their iPhone is the Razer, Razer Audio app. There's another app that doesn't work with this. It's the Razer Audio app. So what I'm going to do is show you within the Razer Audio app the settings here. So I've got chroma effect, and see, I can push this, and then you'll notice that the lights on the Razer V2 Leviathan went off. And then I turn this back on, and you'll notice that now the lights, it's got that light pattern. You can do audio reactive. I've got that turned off. You can do equalizer. Now this doesn't have to do with the lights. I would like to see bass, treble, etc. type options in here. I mean, I don't consider myself to be an audiophile, but it is nice to be able to manually adjust the bass and treble. When I go into custom, what I'm finding is something that for me is pretty confusing. It just says you can modify these individual parameters here, or you can set to flat, and that, I don't know, that's beyond my level of audio knowledge. But out of the box, you've got flat, you've got game, you've got movie, you've got music. So I will say it sounds pretty good. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this sounds amazing, because if I did that, I'd be doing a disservice. Is it good enough for a computer speaker? Without a doubt. It can get very loud, actually too loud, and that's a good thing. So at a lower listening level, if I'm watching YouTube videos, editing a YouTube video, it's got nice volume. The bass is decent, I should say adequate, but if you're wanting more bass, you may want to consider the system they've got. It's called this is the Leviathan V2 X. Leviathan V2, or Leviathan V2 rather, is the one that has a subwoofer. So you can find them linked within this video's description. But if you're just doing video editing like I am, you may not want the subwoofer. Now, something I did find to be cool, you can see it's got that pattern of lights right now. You can go into you just click on chroma right there, and you can choose all these different patterns. Static, so it would stay a certain color. As you can see, I've got green selected there. See, I've set it to static, so now you're seeing green. If I moved it over to, let's say, red, it should change to red, and it did. So this is a cool interface here within the app. I will give them that. You can do spectrum. That's the spectrum mode right there. You can see the various color changes. You can do breathing. So in that particular mode, you can see it's green and it's kind of breathing. Inhale and exhale. See, it's breathing whatever color. And likewise, I could change it to any color that's available here. So I change it to red. Now you'll see it breathing in red. I kind of like this spectrum. The spectrum setting's kind of cool because see, it just kind of scrolls among various colors. And then there's, let's see, let me go to another one here. They call that the Wave. That's kind of cool because you've got a variety of different colors. It kind of looks like a rainbow shooting across your desk. See all those different colors? So that's pretty neat. And then also in the app, obviously, with this particular speaker, you can choose between Bluetooth or USB. It's actually a USB-C as in Charlie. So after I got past the app confusion, again, this is the Razer Audio app. There's another app out there. Don't get it. Razer Audio app's the one that you want. And the app works great. Didn't have any problems pairing it with my Leviathan V2 X. I'm saying X because this doesn't have the subwoofer. The Leviathan V2 does have a subwoofer. This one does not. But this was simple to connect. Now, if you're using a computer with USB-C, you can just plug the USB-C that comes with this into your computer's USB-C port, and that'll provide power or give you the opportunity to use audio over USB-C cable. I opted for Bluetooth, personal preference. It is worth mentioning, it did not come with a USB-C power brick. So if you plan to power, say, from a wall outlet and you want to pair with Bluetooth, you're going to need to get a cheap USB-C power brick. Now in my case, I've got an inexpensive surge strip that has USB-C as well as USB-A power ports, and I was able to plug this into that. It works great, no problem. So, but if I had ordered this with the expectation that it was going to come with something that would enable me to power it from a standard wall power outlet, I would be delayed with getting it set up because I would have to, purchase that component. But I like the design of this. The build quality is nice. I mean, it's nothing that's going to blow your mind, but it is good build quality, and it's got kind of a black, soft, fabricy type mesh material on the front. So it looks nice, but the coolest thing is that I'm getting this underneath my Samsung M8 monitor. So it's better than just a tiny little rinky-dink USB or Bluetooth speaker, I should say. It's better than that because it's, when you listen to it for your editing or whatever, this is not, if you're an audiophile, this is not a speaker that you're going to get and be like, whoa, man, that blew me away. No, this gets the job done for video editing. It's actually marketed for gaming. I'm not much of a gamer, but if you were, you could use this with a computer and probably enjoy the games a little bit better. But it gets the job done for what I want, and it fits my setup with the Samsung M8 perfectly because it goes right underneath the M8, and it's not too big, it's not too small. It's big enough to provide really good sound. And it is a very room-filling sound. I've got a lot of room echo in this room, but it does a really good job of filling the room with sound. So that's great, and the clarity is nice when I'm editing videos. The clarity is nice. I can hear everything that I'm editing. And since it's Bluetooth, and I think it's Bluetooth, I'll have to check the link within this video's description to correct me, but I think it's Bluetooth 5.0 or so. So I've noticed that typically with any sort of Bluetooth speaker, when you're using it for video editing, typically, and I use these headsets and now this speaker for my video edits, but typically when you're doing video editing, if you're using a Bluetooth speaker or headset, you're typically going to notice an obnoxious amount of audio delay. And that's not something I get with this. I mean, it's synced very well with when I'm editing face-on video segments and that sort of thing within Final Cut Pro 10, the audio is synced really well. So that's a positive. And now obviously, you know, one of the big selling points for this speaker is that it has the integrated light, which is kind of, you know, you could add your own LED lights to whatever, but that is kind of neat that that's integrated within the speaker itself. And that, as you saw earlier, it's easy to control using the iOS app. It's easy to control. So I don't have any complaints. I think it's a good speaker. The audio is good quality. It doesn't sound cheap. The audio does not sound cheap, but if you've listened to, say, Sonos speakers and that sort of stuff, you will definitely notice a difference. But again, it doesn't sound cheap. It sounds quality. It's high quality audio. The bass is not going to blow you away, but again, this does not have a subwoofer. But without having a subwoofer, it still gets the job done. So if your use case is video editing, that sort of stuff, I think this is a wonderful option. I'm using it with a Mac. So it's, now keep in mind, at least currently, the desktop software I think only works with Windows, but that's why I use my iPhone to configure the lighting and the settings. So it's not a problem. I just configure that with the iPhone and then pretty much forget about it, because it's probably not something I'm going to change that frequently. What would have been nice if it had integrated microphone for video conferencing, phone calls, etc. That would have been a nice feature, but not necessary. But since it's already on your desk, it would make sense that if they had put a mic in there, that would have been nice, because I know I would have used it for conference calls and phone calls and that sort of stuff. It would have been nice to have an integrated mic. But I think for what it is and the price point, and again, you can expand this video's description and click the link there to find where to order it online. I think the price, the performance is all really good, and especially, and I know this is just eye candy, the LED lights, or I guess LED, RGB, whatever they call them. But the lights that are built in, that's kind of neat. You know, that's some additional eye candy for your desk. I wouldn't base my purchase decision solely upon the fact that this has integrated lights, but I mean, it is kind of cool. It looks nice, and this looks nice directly below my monitor. It doesn't take up. It doesn't take up a lot of space. I mean, with this Samsung M8 monitor, it's just sitting right there. It's perfect. So for my setup, it's the perfect size. It's more than enough power. Like I said, if I turn the volume all the way up, it'll really fill the room, and I don't need that for my use case, which is video editing. But it does a good job. It was easy to pair. I mean, all I had to do is hold down the Bluetooth pairing button on the top for about 5 seconds. Popped right up in my Mac. I was able to add it to my Mac. Then I was also able to pair with my iPhone for the app that I was showing you earlier. So I mean, it's a cool speaker. I mean, it's you know, if you're an audiophile, don't be expecting this to punch beyond its price point, because you're probably going to be disappointed if that's the case. But if you want something that, in my case, sounds a lot better than speakers that are built into a monitor, sounds a lot better than speakers that are built into a laptop, I think this will probably really impress. So if you're shopping for it, expand this video's description and click the link there, and you can find where to order it online. I think it's super affordable for what you get. Again, this is recommended for a PC, but I am using it with a Mac, using Bluetooth. It works great, and I mean, I just wanted to post this review because a lot of the reviews I've seen have been catering to people that are using it for video games, and that's not my use case. I'm using it for video editing in Final Cut Pro 10 on my Mac computer. But for other use cases, watching YouTube videos, etc., it does a good job, and it does have, I guess the technical term would be, a wide sound stage. So when you're listening to it, it definitely sounds good. It sounds like what I would expect from a quality soundbar. And I'm not going to say super high quality. This is not a This is not a Sonos speaker. Those are very high quality. But the reason I went with this instead of a Sonos is Sonos, because of all the audio processing they do, and I mean it's incredible the sound you get out of a Sonos with a television. But when I use Sonos with Bluetooth and Sonos within Final Cut Pro 10, I had a very noticeable audio delay. So for me, for my use case, needing a speaker for Final Cut Pro 10, if I'm not editing, wearing my headphones, because I don't always want to have headphones on. You know, headphones are comfortable, but after an extended period of time, they can become, you know, a little bit uncomfortable, even though those are super comfortable. So that's what steered me towards this. And surprisingly, there's not a lot of Bluetooth computer speaker options out there. Apple used to have, and I used to have one, the Beats by Dre Pill Plus. It was a really good sounding speaker, but to my knowledge, that's been discontinued. But this is good. You know, no corners cut. Just go into it with a reasonable expectation for audio. If you're an audiophile and that's what you're expecting, you would want to go with a higher end configuration. But if you don't want to use your computer's monitor speakers, if you don't want to use your laptop speakers, if you want something that sounds very good, actually better than just good enough, and can get louder than most people would probably need, this is a great option. So again, expand this video's description and then click the link there. If you have any questions, comment below and I'll try my best to answer. But I'm a happy customer. I mean, it's getting the job done. So I'll need to post a follow-up review here in a few months and let you know how it's going. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.
Hey y'all, iRick Guy here. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and when you do, ring that bell icon to be notified whenever I post another video. Thanks for your viewership, and y'all have a good day.